People say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
Sport Pulse has just dropped its 2025 rankings for WNBA players. And, as always, these lists spark passionate debate among fans and analysts alike. The latest update has left many reeling, particularly when it comes to the standing of two polarizing figures, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. While many expected the dynamic playmaker, Caitlin Clark, to soar to the very top of these rankings, the numbers have both surprised and divided audiences. Some argue that her placement is still not high enough, given her jaw-dropping performances on the court. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, who for a long time carried the aura of an untouchable superstar, finds herself in an uncomfortably low spot. Let's set the stage.
We've got ESPN's ranks of WNBA players right now. And Caitlin Clark is really high. One could.
The season has been filled with eye-popping highlight reels, game-changing moments, and a barrage of opinions from every corner of the sports media landscape. Yet when the dust settles and Sport Pulse's meticulous analysis is taken into account, the narrative is clear. Despite her relentless self-promotion and a swagger that once promised domination, Angel Reese has not made it into the upper echelon of the rankings.
Straight up, Angel Reese ain't nowhere to be found in the top 10. She's not involved. You're not here. Sorry, but not sorry. You're not to be seen.
In fact, despite all the buzz, she ends up outside the top 10. Some might even say her ranking is a sting in the face of her own hype. On the flip side, Caitlin Clark has been quietly rewriting the record books. Her performances have been so consistently dominant that every statistic, every highlight, and every game-winning moment serves as undeniable proof of her talent.
If you recall from 1979 when those two rookies came in from a big college rivalry, one white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing...
While debates raged on social media and among commentators, comparing one star to the other, the truth on the court couldn't be clearer. The numbers, the impact, and the game-changing plays all point to one conclusion. The future of women's basketball is being defined by Caitlin Clark's steady brilliance, not by the flashy yet ultimately inconsistent Angel Reese.
I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
In the following sections, we'll delve deep into what these rankings really say about the players, examine the manufactured narratives that have long pitted these athletes against each other, and explore the wider impact on the league and its passionate fan base. Get ready for an in-depth exploration that spares no detail as we break down every facet of this ongoing debate. Sport Pulse's ranking system isn't just about raw statistics. It's a comprehensive look at how each player influences the game, contributes to team success, and inspires fans.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion.
The methodology factors in advanced metrics, clutch performance, and even off-court leadership. When these factors are all considered, one might expect that a player who projects herself as the undisputed queen of the court would naturally occupy one of the top spots. Yet, the reality is far more complex. For instance, consider Angel Reese. Once celebrated by her supporters as the personification of women's basketball energy, she now finds herself ranked well outside the top 10. In Sport Pulse's latest assessment,
she has no skill. She has energy, she has an attitude, she'll rebound you the basketball. Great. Nothing else. She has nothing.
The very player who was once touted as a game changer now sits at a disappointing 12th place. To put this in perspective, imagine arriving at a VIP event with the belief that you are the guest of honor, only to discover that you've been relegated to the waiting area while the real stars bask in the spotlight.
She's got self-awareness. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
That's essentially what has happened here. Angel Reese's ranking is a direct result of a season where the expected brilliance did not materialize on the court. While her pre-game interviews and social media posts dripped with confidence and even a bit of defiant swagger, her actual performance was less than convincing. Sport Pulse's analysis reveals that her contributions, though occasionally flashy, have largely failed to make a measurable impact when compared to her peers.
Let's all get a laugh together here, because this is the list. And you see the list, right?
In contrast, even if some fans feel that a 12th place finish is too high for someone of her supposed caliber, the harsh reality is that the numbers do not lie. This isn't the first time that the gap between expectation and performance has been so stark. Over the course of the season, Angel Reese's game has been marred by questionable decision-making, inconsistent shooting, and an over-reliance on theatrics rather than solid fundamentals. While she continues to attract attention, and indeed a fervent following, her inability to translate that energy into consistent on-court success has ultimately cost her dearly in the rankings.
Well, I don't see, correct me if I'm wrong, do you see Angel Reese on this list?
In the midst of the controversy surrounding Angel Reese's ranking, one player stands out with an almost serene confidence: Caitlin Clark. Now widely recognized for her record-breaking performances, Clark has emerged as a beacon of modern basketball excellence. Her skill set, which seamlessly blends scoring, playmaking, and defensive savvy, has redefined what it means to be a superstar in today's WNBA.
Now she knows it to the point that even when she's on the basketball court, she's aware, like, this ain't really my thing. Let me get this hot potato.
It's no secret that the world of sports is as much about storytelling as it is about statistics. The narrative of a fierce rivalry between two players can sometimes overshadow the more nuanced realities of their performance. For a while, the supposed one-on-one debate between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark dominated headlines, with fans, analysts, and even league executives weighing in on which player was truly superior. Social media exploded with comparisons, and every misstep by one player was pounced upon as evidence of inferiority. Yet, when you peel back the layers of media hype, the narrative begins to unravel.
Out of my hand into somebody that knows what they're doing with it as soon as possible. You got to see this clip. This is a 3-on-3 basketball game. Angel Reese.
The so-called rivalry has largely been a product of external pressures, a manufactured story designed to drive viewership and engagement rather than reflect the true state of play. In reality, the contrast between Reese and Clark is less about head-to-head competition and more about the divergence between style and substance. Angel Reese's supporters have long argued that her on-court energy and outspoken personality make her an indispensable part of the sport's cultural fabric. They point to her charismatic post-game rants and her willingness to speak her mind as evidence of a player who isn't afraid to challenge the status quo.
Strips a player at one end, runs down court with the basketball, 3-4 steps ahead of everybody, has an easy layup.
But while passion and personality are important, they cannot replace the cold, hard facts of performance. And when the game is played, the numbers are the ultimate judge. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has largely allowed her play to do the talking. There is a quiet confidence in the way she approaches each game, a belief that her consistent excellence will ultimately speak louder than any word or tweet. While her off-court demeanor may be less flamboyant than Reese's, it is her ability to deliver under pressure that truly sets her apart. Every buzzer beater, every decisive assist, and every record-smashing performance builds a case for why she is not just a great player, but the future of the league.
Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
This manufactured rivalry, therefore, is not a genuine contest of skill, but rather a distraction from the larger story unfolding on the court. The focus should be on the transformative impact these athletes have on the game, not on the hyperbolic comparisons that have been peddled for the sake of clicks and controversy. Sport Pulse's latest rankings have, in many ways, put an end to this debate by revealing what the numbers have known all along. While both players have their moments, the consistent, electrifying brilliance of Caitlin Clark is what will define this era of women's basketball.
In the entire league, not on the Olympic team. Just pointing that out. And of course, you did have some haters. Please, Clark is not better than...
At its core, Sport Pulse's ranking system is built on objective analysis, combining advanced metrics, clutch performance data, and qualitative assessments from seasoned analysts. When you examine the season's statistics, the differences between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are stark. For instance, while Reese may post respectable numbers in rebounds and certain isolated plays, her overall impact is diluted by missed shots, inconsistent defense, and a game that too often appears more about spectacle than substance. Take, for example, a typical matchup where Reese's contributions are highlighted. Yes, she might grab a crucial rebound,
Fee or Enescu. Clark is not better than Stewart. They Glazing Clark is not better than Enescu, blah, 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 no matter what.
or even provide a momentary burst of energy that excites the crowd. But these instances are sporadic and rarely translate into a lasting impact on the flow of the game. Her offensive game particularly has been a point of criticism. Critics argue that her shot selection is erratic and that her offensive output often lacks the finesse and efficiency that characterize the league's elite performers.
No matter what Caitlin Clark does, she's going to have some haters out there. It's just they're losing their minds over all the people that have either been traded for and signed.
On the other side of the spectrum stands Caitlin Clark. Her stat sheet is a masterclass in consistency and excellence. With a combination of high shooting percentages from beyond the arc, an uncanny ability to create scoring opportunities for herself and her teammates, and a knack for taking over games in critical moments, Clark's numbers tell the story of a player who is indispensable to her team's success. Whether it's dropping 30-plus points on a seemingly routine Tuesday night or pulling off a jaw-dropping triple-double that leaves the opposition scrambling, her performances are nothing short of historic.
And/or signed for the Indiana Fever right now, and of course, it looks like a powerhouse of a team.
Moreover, Clark's influence extends beyond raw numbers. She has an almost magnetic effect on the court, energizing her team and shifting momentum in ways that are difficult to quantify but impossible to ignore. Opponents, when forced to defend her, often find themselves out of sync and overwhelmed by her multifaceted game. In contrast, despite the noise surrounding her, Reese's overall contribution remains mired in inconsistency.